Take him, Jeremy.
Oops, we're recording.
Hi, Jane.
Oh my God, you're too big.
Christmas 1996 at the
Christmas at the Aaron's condo. Say hi.
We're bathing Bball.
How you doing?
We just trot right down that beach, you know.
See all the tans?
Yeah, see those tans? And there's Ben. Oh, Ben just walked by. Oh, there's Grandma. Oh, wave to the camera. Grandpa Harold, say hi.
Hi, everybody. All right.
And there's Bob and his dad talking about boats again. This is our nice kitchen where the turkey is roasting.
Like this, you know? You got that good wave. Right?
There's Andy and Josh.
We're ready.
Playing cards. Say hi, boys. Say hi to the camera. Turn around. There's the beautiful water. We're looking for a fish out there. Don't see one. Let's look. Maybe we'll get one in the picture. Where are those darn fish? When you want to take a picture, they're not around. Look at that palm tree. Look at that sun. It's gone. Sorry. Sunset's gone. There's the palm tree. And here is our bedroom. Through the light. Whoops, that's me. Hi, Jane. Ben in the picture. Say hi, Ben. There's Ben. There he is. There's Grandpa. There's Jenny. Hi, Jenny.
My battery broke out.
Jason's gonna talk.
a few thank yous before I get started with the awards for the varsity young men tonight. Certainly, I think it goes without saying, the success of the program that you've heard from the other two coaches is tremendous. And it's because of the professionalism, the dedication, and from my standpoint, just what a blessing it is to have a staff like we had. And I'd like to thank Coach Richardson, Coach Lier, Coach McGowan, and Coach Siebert for all their hard work and dedication throughout the just a special note, and I've been around this for 22 years, so I'm not going to forget. But a real thank you to my lovely bride. She not only had to worry about the healing the wounds of an emotional varsity season, but also a freshman season and a girls season. So usually about 1:30 on a Friday night, we'd put the last bit of tape down and finally be able to call it a night. But thanks for all your patience. And we've really, as I said, I think we have something special that we've got going here at Cedarburg. And it didn't start just in November. Where it really started was with the summer program that we were able to put together several years ago, and has really become kind of the envy of the area. And I guess what I'm asking tonight is, one, thank you for the senior parents that really helped put this thing together and really kind of put us in the position where we are now through your patience and hard work. And in particular, Gary Swab and Bob Lowy have really done a nice job of putting together that program. 16-5 is a very fine record, a tremendous season. When I take a look at the games that we lost, all of our losses came to state-ranked teams. I'm going to kind of capsulize or summarize the season as some of the high points that I have in my mind when I put this together a couple of nights ago. I'm sure others of you will have other memories that will be just as relevant and important. But one of the first big wins that I thought that we had was up at the Campbellsport tournament, where we took the championship, which certainly was important, but the night before we beat a state-ranked team from Slinger, somebody that we've really developed quite a rivalry with throughout the course of a couple of seasons, and beat them very handily, 60-39. I kind of paged through the scorebook, and certainly on a snowy night, Friday night in January, down at the is that Homestead? Is that what they call that place? Coach Shikoris, is that his name? Certainly a real memorable victory for us was the Homestead victory, 75-52, an upset win over a highly ranked team, and of course their much sought after recruit Kaspars from Bball. I think the biggest victory of the year, without a doubt, came just a few days later when we had Whitefish Bay, who was coming in as the undefeated state champ, hadn't lost a conference basketball game in the last 26 attempts, and came into our gym, and we were able to hand them a 54-36 setback. And at that point we had somewhat of a streak started. Another game that I think will certainly stick out in my memory, maybe not so much from the aspect of the score, but what it led to was a 73-55 victory over Germantown in our home gym. And I cite this game because it started a little bit of a shadow that came upon our team, where we lost the services of a very important part of our team, Jeremy Aarons, who in the last seconds of the half went down with what we thought was an ankle injury, and ended up being much more serious than that, breaking his tibia and having to have screws placed in his leg the next day. And certainly lost, of course, without saying for the rest of the season, but a real tough and emotional thing for us to have to deal with. A couple of days later, 10 days later, we had Homestead back in our gym, and things seemed to be going pretty well. We had an 8-point lead. Things were the seeming tide of the game was starting to turn, and then we lost another important part of our basketball team, where B.J. Swab went down for what turned out to be a season-ending injury at that point, with aggravation of a already chronic back problem that he had. With those two injuries, certainly had a drastic impact on our season, but I don't think it can dull the fact or erase the memories of the important success that we had throughout the course of the season. Our next game, we went on into the tournament, and as luck would have it, we probably had one of the toughest draws in the state of our regional with Tosa West, who had been ranked ahead of us all year, and then if we would get by that one, Whitefish Bay. And they went right after the perceived weakness of our team at the guards, but we really fought hard in the game, struggled back, and with 4 minutes had tied the game. Unfortunately, we weren't able to prevail, and we ended up going down in our first tournament game. I think, though, as you look at the last couple of games that we had, certainly that was part of the season, part of athletics, where you just can't foresee that. You realize that when success is going your way and you seem to almost be invincible and we're winning games by very large numbers, you realize how fragile it can be when you start having situations and injuries happen like they did to us. The record that we posted this year, 16-5, was the best in 30 years. We had a 12-2 conference record. The only team to better that was 30 years ago, the 66-67 team, and then I saw a copy of Shooting Through Time. And if you haven't seen that, it's just a great collection of Cedarburg statistics and almost a memory of history of basketball at Cedarburg. And you could pick that up at the athletic office or down at Armbrister's Jewelry, not trying to make a sales pitch. But I paged through it, and 52-53 was the next season that had anything that could compare to what we had this year. Finished up in second place in the conference with that 12-2 record, an outstanding accomplishment. Just about a possession away as we look at the conference championship, which I know we didn't win, but I think we probably came as close as any team that could possibly come. And I just remember opening the paper and reading that Homestead's last second shot was waved off by the official that went in, and then the Menominee Falls game, Menominee Falls had 4 shots inside the free throw lane with 4 seconds left, and none of them went, and that's about as close as you can possibly get without winning a championship. That wouldn't have changed our record, but I think the things there, how hard these guys work and the success they had is certainly obvious. We had a 13-game winning streak, and what a tremendous feat that was. For 2 months, these young men didn't lose a basketball game, and in fact, at times, teams didn't really get too close to us in those games. This team also got some state recognition in 4 weeks, and including the last week, they were recognized in state ranking in the Journal. And it's been several years since we've been able to enjoy something of that nature. I think the message that this team, as we started a rebuilding process several years ago, is that to these young men over on this side of the room, that it can be done despite our relative lack of size and going up against schools that have an advantage, if you will, of the 220 program. It's there, it can be done, and these guys are proof of that. At this time, I'd like to introduce the members of this extremely successful and exciting basketball team. The 1960, that was my year. No, I was 7. 1996-97 boys varsity basketball team, the letter winners. First, we had a young man that we brought up that through some injuries, but really stepped up and did an excellent job, and I think you'll be hearing quite a bit from him in the future, Nate Shervany. And we're introducing them by their numbers. Ed Golding. BJ Swab. Chris Lipsky. Schwingle. Jeremy Aarons. John Vandenberg. David Lowy. Steve Conkle. Nick Nesmith. At this point, our athletic director, Mr. Bruce Junker, would like to introduce and award the Scholar Athletes.
So if I could get them to come forward. Raymond Bogenreef. The criteria for this award is that they need to have a cumulative 8.0 at the time that their varsity coach awards them a letter. Eric Schwingle. Joel Vandenberg. Jeremy Aarons. David Lloyd. Steve Conkle. Eric Dorgan.
They're kind of neck and neck for this with DJ, but 94 is an outstanding score. Most steals in a career. Now BJ can stand. Set a new record. Also, one of the events that we'll have coming up will be the all-county team, and I'm sure we'll have, we'll be, I'll get it out, we'll be well represented, that's what I was trying to say, on this year's all-county team, and that'll be coming forth in the next week or so. Team awards, and this becomes something that is very special. System that I use is I feel, and I put a great deal of trust by the time they get to varsity, that the team members themselves will vote on it. We meet after the last game and have the balloting selections, and I think this year's were certainly very appropriate. First award that we would have would be Most Improved, and I think I better get the award. Most improved on this year's squad is really a difficult situation. The team improved, made such strides. The program made such great strides over the last several years. And I think one of the things that we were really looking for and was really well represented is it may not be the statistics you put up, it may not even be the amount of game time you've got. In fact, coming to practice every day and working as hard as you possibly can in a season that's always filled with emotions, highs and lows, and sometimes complaining can be a part of that, and sometimes, you know, things can get a little off track. But these two young men that received the award, I never heard or saw anything but the best possible effort from them year in or throughout the course of the year. You know, they were led by example, maybe not on the floor, but every day in practice. And I hope that their efforts certainly didn't go unnoticed by their teammates or coaching staff. And despite the fact that maybe their minutes weren't always there on the court, that didn't diminish the effort and just the quality that they brought to practice. This year's co-most improved players are Joel and John Vandenberg. It's an inspiration. Maybe not one of the most vocal people out there, but you just had to watch the game for a while and there would be a standout. People would recognize his efforts and energies. And certainly what a hard worker and a tremendous job he did for this basketball team. And again, you won't see a lot of of statistics in a scorebook over this, or open up the paper and read of a lot of stats in the paper. But a lot of games certainly were helped in our favor by the efforts and the inspiration that this young man brought to the floor. Steve Comp.